Good morning and welcome to this yoga class on finding balance. Come to a comfortable seat. Wiggle your buttocks, flesh away. Sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Palms resting on your knees. Up if you'd like a little more up energy. Down if you want a little more grounding. Close your eyes or look downcast. Let your awareness settle. Become conscious of the environment around you. Become aware of the shape of your body on your mat. Notice your breathing. Become aware of the energy that you've brought to class today. Are you sluggish or energized, relaxed or tense? Notice any emotions flowing through you without judgment, attachment, or aversion. And beneath all of the activities of our lives, there is an infinite ocean of pure potential. Allow an intention to form for today's practice. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you want to be more balanced, right and left, you could be in cobbler pose, but instead of having your heels close to your pelvis, bring them forward so you're making a diamond shape with your legs. So it's a little more relaxed. Sitting up nice and tall. If this doesn't work, take Sukhasana, easy pose. And let's round the back. And inhale, lift up. So balance. Life is a dynamic process. And I used to think that maybe there was some way I could do something to have a perfect life. I've let go of that idea because I've realized that if I go too far in one direction, life is going to bring me back into the other direction. And we can do a little reaching while we're here. If I go too far into one direction, life is going to bring me back into the other direction. And through that, you go through a point of balance. So coming back to balance is not a permanent state. It is a flow. And there's no need to ever worry about whatever direction you go in, because life will pull you back to center, and then life will pull you off center once again. but always coming back through that point of balance. That's one way to look at balance. Another way, and I think this would be easier to do in easy pose or whatever cross-legged pose you like, is our circling. And here, this is like a top. And even though a top spins and eventually falls over, while it's spinning, there's a point of balance in the center that's not moving, just like the eye of a hurricane. There's tremendous movement around the outside, but when in the center, there's stillness. So another way to look at coming back to balance might be to find that center point in the midst of all of the swirling activity. A little different analogy, but two ways to come back to a place of balance, peace, centering. When life seems to be giving you lots of challenges, activity, etc., etc., etc. So let's come back to stillness. Take a moment here. And then once again, we'll go off balance. So let's reach up and over, but we're going to come back through that center point and reach up and over the other way. And we'll do one more set. And coming back to balance, stillness, centering. Let's do a little swinging just around in circles. Again, your hands can whap against your kidneys. So there's that still point in the center. And let's come back to stillness. And to create some balance, we'll bring the other leg in front or on top. Another lovely symbol for that balance is the infinity symbol. Making an infinity with our nose. Showing you that you can go to one side, but then you come back through that point of balance to the other side. So we're balancing the two sides of our brain. And we'll go back the opposite direction. So we always do both sides or both directions to create balance. And back to center. Let's bring our hands together, pressing into the breastbone. Inhale tall. We're going to turn to one side, look over our shoulder, back to center, look over the other way. You can stay with that or pressing your palms in one direction, turn your head the other way. So head and shoulders going in opposite directions. And back to center. And let's just roll our wrists around each other. Soft fists. Rolling your wrists around each other. And roll the wrists back the other way. And let's draw big circles as if we're stirring two pots. And let's draw big circles the other way. And relax. And let's circle one shoulder forward, up and back, and then the other forward, up, back, and down. So we're just doing one shoulder at a time. And we'll go in the opposite direction, forward, forward, back, up, forward, down. And rest, feel the energy there. Let's take a deep breath and reach our arms back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then give yourself a big hug. Let your chin drop. Broaden your back. Notice which elbow is on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades, broaden the chest. And other side. And inhale, open. And hug. Chin in, back broad. And open. And hug. Let's move to our rib cage. Imagine your rib cage is in a barrel. This is a belly dance move. Bringing your ribs forward, side, back. So it's different from the circling that we did before, where the thing that was moving the most would be our head because it would be the top of the cone. Here we're trying to get the ribs to be what's moving the most. And let's go the other way. Giving our ribs a nice workout. Helping the breath get deeper by stretching the intercostal muscles of the rib cage. Take that in. Bring the hands to the floor and back. Let's widen the legs and we'll windshield wiper the knees. And coming back to center, let's pick up one foot and give that foot a massage. You want to squeeze and twist your toes and then pinch the ends off like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste. And you broaden the foot and press into any place that feels sore. Rub, use your knuckles. Clap if you like. And then we're going to place our fingers between our toes. If you can't do this, then you have homework. Just to put pencils or those spacers that they use for toenail polish between your toes while you're watching television. Because you want to have nice broad toes, just like you can spread your fingers nice and wide. You want to be able to spread your toes nice and wide. Something that happens if you walk barefoot, but not so much if you wear tight shoes. Okay, so we're spreading our toes with our fingers, and then we're going to let go and see if we can keep those toes wide. All right, and let's change sides. So we're going to give that foot a massage. And we're going to do each toe. We're going to wiggle it and then pinch it. All right, while we're here, let's flex that foot, make it nice and square, and then pick it up. And we'll rock the baby either holding with our hands or pressing the heel into your crook of your elbow and the knee into the crook of your elbow, bringing your chest towards your leg and your leg towards your chest. And bring that right down. And we'll bring the other leg in. So again, flexing the foot nice and square, picking that leg up, holding with your hands or with your elbows. Please press out through the ball of your big toe. Don't sickle your foot. You don't want to be able to see the sole of your foot. You want that leg as if it's in a boot, nice and square. But we just talked about Julio being in a boot. So we want to be in that same boot, just temporarily. I'm going to do some floor balancing poses. And I'm going to remind you that we have a yoga secret for how to improve our balance. It requires us to place the tip of our tongue behind our front teeth and in front of that ridge that runs from the back of the mouth towards the front of the mouth. So that little projection of roof palate between the teeth and that ridge. If we place our tongue there, we are waking up our master glands of our brain, and we are uniting meridians in the front and back of the body, and that helps our balance. So let's see if that works or not, but something to try as we come over onto our hands and knees. And we'll just start with a few cat and dogs before we get into our balancing poses. And you can always place your tongue against the roof of your mouth. It doesn't have to just be when you're balancing. Let's come into some little cat circles, or maybe bigger cat circles, whatever works for you. And let's go the other way. And come back to stillness. We'll go into sunbirds. Let's lift up the right leg, press out through the heel, draw the belly in, lift that leg. We're going to inhale, stretch up, exhale, nose to knee. Inhale, lift, exhale, nose to knee. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, and inhale, lift, bring your opposite arm out, exhale, elbow and nose to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl in. You stay with the variation that's right for you. This is also obviously a strength building for your upper body. And let's turn this into a balancing pose. And down, butt shake, and we'll go to the other side. So we're going to send the left leg out, Lift that up, nose to knee. And you can stay with this, or if you want a little more challenge, opposite arm comes out. Exhale, elbow and nose to knee. And the next one will hold. And down, and come back into child or egg. When you're ready, turn around and we'll do our 4-point balance. So knees and feet are hip width apart, hands are below your shoulders. Bring those legs in so that when you lift up, your knees are over your heels. And we'll exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. You can also do this on your forearms if your wrists are not strong enough, or if they're getting tired. All right, so this time we're going to lift and hold. Now, if you want to make this a little more of a challenge in a balancing pose, you pick up one foot, cross your ankle over your knee and float your knee down and balance on 3 points. Head can be forward or back, whatever feels good for your neck. One more breath. Good job. And come down. Whew, shake out your wrists. And we'll do the other side. Here we go. Inhale up. Again, you can stay here, come out of it early if you need to, or if you're good for more of a challenge. Ankle crosses your knee, knee floats down, hips lift up. 5 breaths here. And down. And give yourself a hug. Shake out your wrists if you need to. Inhale up, straighten your legs. Let's take a forward fold. Bring the hands to the floor behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chest. If you'd like a little more challenge, take a nice deep breath and lift up, balancing on your heels and your hands. And down. And one more forward fold. Up. Let's roll to one side and we'll do a forearm side balance. That should be easier than a full side balance. So you've got your arm on the floor at right angles to your body, the other hand in front of you for support, feet one on top of the other or one in front of the other if you need to. That's the easier way. Just put both feet on the floor, one in front of the other, like you're tightrope walking. Take a deep breath and lift those hips up off the floor. And if you don't need the arm, side balance, a little challenging. Good upper body strengthener. And down. Woo. And we'll go to the other side. Take a moment to rest, right? So more challenge with the 2 feet on top of each other, less challenge with 1 foot in front of the other, like you're doing tightrope walking. Forearm on the floor at right angles, other hand in front of you. You ready? Deep breath in, lift those hips up off the floor. Stay here with 2 hands or 1 arm in the air. So body's in Tadasana. And down, good work. And let's relax. In another seated hug. Think of it like a seated child. And one more seated balance, sitting up nice and tall. Bring the hands behind your thighs. Roll your shoulders down and back. Shoulder blades flat on your back, supporting the lift in your chest. Pick your heels up off the floor, or pick your feet up off the floor, or release your hands, or straighten your legs. We don't have to. Whatever version your body wants this morning, and my version is that my leg is cramping. And down, and one more hug. Or if you prefer child or shavasana for a few breaths to recoup. And when you're ready, let's meet in Uttanasana, forward fold. Another lovely way to recoup when our head is below our heart, lowers our blood pressure. Let's bring our hands to the back of our sacrum and slowly straighten our spine. And slowly come up. Finding Tadasana, finding balance here on both feet. Let's do some sunshining breaths, inhaling all the way up. And down. On the inhale, reach down through your feet, up through the top of your head. Exhale, draw the belly in, press the hands down. Energetically, you might actually feel as you're inhaling and reaching the arms up that you're connecting to the earth. You're pressing down through the feet. And as you open and the hands press down, it's almost like a rocket you're lifting off up into the heavens. One more. Excuse me. Whew. And this time, let's inhale. Find your drishti and come on up onto your toes, tongue against the roof of your mouth, right behind your front teeth. And let's tightrope walk. Let's place one foot in front of the other, but once you've figured out where that is, don't look down at your feet. Inhale your arms out. Find your drishti. You're going to rock forward, maybe even lifting your back heel. And rock back. Woo. Maybe even lifting the front ball of your foot. So you're standing on one foot and half of a foot. Inhale forward. If it's safe, lift your back heel. Inhale back, and if it's safe, lift the ball of your foot. All right, remember which leg was in front, shake it out. We'll do the other side, stepping one foot right in front of the other. Inhale out for balance like you're a tightrope walker. Find your drishti. Tongue against the roof of your mouth, halfway between the front teeth and that ridge that runs front to back. Inhale, rock forward. And if it feels safe, lift your back heel. And down. And inhale, rock back. And if it feels safe, lift the ball of the foot in front. And inhale, rock forward. And inhale, rock back. Oops. And release and shake it out. Whew. Good job. Little challenge, right? Okay. Going to go into chair pose and inhale the arms up in front. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, the belly lifts, and press your hips back so that your knees as much as possible are over your feet. You're not pressing your knees forward, but your hips back. Chest is lifted, find your drishti. Your tongue position. You can lift your toes up off the floor to help encourage your weight to go back onto your heels. And inhale. Take a breath. Either do a second set of that or onto your toes, finding your drishti. Inhale tall, press your heels forward as you come down. Inhale up and down. We're going to take that into Shiva, dancing Shiva. So starting in with a little chair pose, inhale your arms up overhead. Let's shift our weight over to our right foot and lift our left heel. We're going to bring the opposite arm down, so we're pointing to the knee that's lifted. The other arm is like a ballet arm. Find your drishti. You can stay here or bring your foot across with the toe on the floor, or flex that foot and bring that foot up across. And down. Whew, shake it out if you need to. And we'll do the other side. Press the heels, press back onto the heels. Lift your right knee, arms up overhead. Let's bring the opposite arm down, pointing at the knee that's lifted. The other arm's in a ballet pose. You can stay here or cross your legs over or flex your foot and lift it up. Good job, release. Shake it out if you need to. All right, you can stay with chair pose or balancing, dancing Shiva, or the next one we're going to do is balancing figure 4. So we're going to start again in our little chair pose. Let's shift our weight over to the right. Going to pick up the left heel. Going to pick up the left foot and cross it over. Hands to heart. Good job. Woo, a lot of work today. Shake it out. Come back to stillness. Bend your knees, little chair pose. Shift your weight over to your left. Lift your right heel. Hands to heart. Stay here or flex your foot. Bring that knee across. And release. Whew, good work. Shake it out. We're going to end with just our little easy swing. So just going to let the body swing, lifting the back heel up. Wrapping our hands gently against our kidneys and adrenals. So again, we're using the other analogy here of being in the center, finding balance as we shift our weight from side to side, but also circling, knowing that there's a center point in the midst of all the whirlwind. Two different analogies, I know. And we'll slow it down and come back to stillness. And let's melt down onto our mats. On your backs, take a few breaths in Shavasana. Take in the benefits of all the good work you've done today. And let's bring one leg in and give it a hug. And gently circle that knee, circling the hip joint. And circle back the other way. And place that foot on the floor, slide it down. Bring the other leg in, give it a hug. And circle that leg. Holding onto the knee and circling from the hip. And circle back the other way. And bring that foot down. Bring both knees, give yourself a hug. Glue your legs together. Make some little circles with your sacrum this time. And we'll circle back the other way. And come to stillness, place your right foot on the floor. Your left ankle crosses your right knee and float your left knee away. Coming into reclining pigeon. Stay here. Keep those feet flexed. Bring the legs in closer if you like. Go through the eye of the needle, grabbing the back of your right thigh, or straighten your leg, holding above or below your left ankle. You can bring your head up if you like. Keep pressing the left knee away. You can use your hand or your elbow. You want to be down on your sacrum. So if your head is lifted, well, even if it's not, you don't want to turn it into a plow pose. You want the weight down on your lower half of your back. And let's release. And bring that leg down. Little windshield wiper. I love these analogies. I mean, obviously, the original yogis did not call this windshield wiper, right? Let's come back to center. Pick up the right leg, foot flexed, cross that ankle over your left knee. Stay here, or bring your legs in closer. Go through the eye of the needle, grab the back of your left thigh, or straighten your leg and hold above or below your right ankle. Use your right hand to press your knee away or press with your elbow. Stay here or bring your head up. Lots of choices. And lower your head, lower your foot, uncross your legs, windshield wiper your knees. Let's end with a bridge pose, hands by your sides, bring those heels in close. Take a nice deep breath and lift the hips up. If you can wriggle your shoulders underneath you, coming into Yoga Mudra. And if you want to make this a little more of a balancing pose, pick up your right foot, cross it over your left leg, and float the knee down. Uncross. Let's release and lower down before we do the other side. And inhale, let's lift up. Wiggle your shoulders underneath you if you like. And stay here or flex your foot, bring your leg across, float the knee down. So one of the challenges here is not to drop your hips, but to keep your pelvis level. And release, roll down. Give yourself a hug. Maybe a little rock from side to side. Stretch your legs up tall. You can either hold the back of your legs or reach your arms to the ceiling as well. Press your hips and shoulders back into the floor and reach up with energy. Slowly come back in, give yourself one more hug, and then find what you need for Shavasana. And take in the benefits of today's practice. You can stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly move and stretch in whatever way feels good to you. And when you're ready, roll to one side and make your way to a seated position. Thank you for coming to class. May you find balance in all your activities. Namaste.